safe place, I got room to breathe. Been a long chase, but at last I'm free. These open woods, I knew I could find peace here. Nothing like the city where I got tired of the running, the catching up. I got hungry for the stunning high mountain tops. So I made some plans, some dreams to catch, to promised lands, to find my path, see the planet from greater heights. I have found a place out of time and space, far from city lights, up on greater heights. See the blue sky, feel the wind that blows, get the rush in, heaven only knows. I'm all alone, still lying far from lonely, on a journey, on a winding road. Got tired of the running, the catching up. I got hungry for the stunning high mountain tops. So I made some plans, some dreams to catch, to promised lands, to find my path, see the planet from greater heights. I have found a place out of time and space, far from city lights, up on greater heights. And I'm flying, I'm flying, I'm flying alone now. And nothing, no nothing is holding me down now. I'm flying, I'm flying, I'm flying alone now. And nothing, no nothing is holding me down now. I have found a place out of time and space. Take me out. Take me out to California. I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon.
Hey everybody, Nicholas Snow here, your favorite promo homo, and I am at an event of the season. It is the annual Luck Be a Lady Gala benefiting the L Fund. We're here at the Riviera here in Palm Springs, and I'm here with the Gala co-chairs Robin Burr and Mei-Ling Tom. Hey!
Hey, Nicholas. Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. We're so excited. It's going to be thrilling.
It is. How are you, Mei-Ling?
I'm fine, Nicholas. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Now, Mei-Ling, as the longest-serving board member, do they give you a statue? How do they honor you for that?
I do not have a statue, but what I get from being on the board the longest is just, it's a passion, and it's so rewarding to be able to continue to do the work that we do.
And you do such important work. And I know, Robin, that you're a relative newcomer to the organization. What inspired you to participate?
You know, I was volunteering for the organization behind the scenes, doing some pro bono consulting for board best practices and organizational best practices, and they made me fall in love with them.
It's easy to do that. It's easy. And I've told you both why I'm an honorary lesbian, right?
No,
do you remember? Because I haven't been having sex with men either. I use that all the time.
That's a good one.
So the vision of the L Fund is an enriched future for the lives of cis, trans, and queer identifying lesbians. And their mission is to empower cis, trans, and queer identifying lesbians through financial crisis assistance, as well as assistance in the areas of health and wellness, the arts, and education in the greater Coachella Valley. And it was founded by 5 lesbians who got together once a month and threw $20 into a pot. And now you're this significant philanthropic force.
We are, and thanks to the foundation they built. However, there were 6 lesbians, and
Oh, 6, excuse me.
No, but Beretta Franklin passed away in 2019. But our 5 founders that are still remaining are with us tonight, and we're very, very proud of them for the foundation they created that has allowed us to move this organization forward. And just this past week, we have had applications rolling in and are giving away money all while we're planning the gala at the same time.
Yes, they give one-time financial grants to lesbians in crisis to help them through a tough time. And I know, Mei Ling, that you have so many heartfelt personal stories of women that you've helped. What keeps you motivated?
Actually, what keeps me motivated is meeting the people who reach out for help and us being able to listen to their story and be able to assist them.
So you rely on financial support. If people here are inspired to support you, they can go to l-fund.org, and then what do they look for there?
We make it really easy. They just go on. There's a big old button right there that says donate, and that's all they have to do is go make a donation online, or find a board member and get to know us, and we'll help them navigate it if they don't have the facilities to do an online donation.
Anything you want to add?
Just thank you for being here, Nicholas, and helping us spread the word.
It's my pleasure. So don't go away, because my coverage of the L Fund Luck Be a Lady Gala continues after this, and these 2 women are running the show. They have work to do. So have fun tonight.
Bye. Thank you, Nicholas.
You're welcome. I really appreciate your support. If you would like to help me continue to make this show happen, there are 2 ways to do it. One is to go to my Patreon page. The other is to become a paid member at one of the membership tiers on my YouTube channel. And the links to both of those opportunities are in the text associated with this video. I'm Nicholas Snow, and I'd like to thank Willie Ryan and John Pascal, owners of 849 Restaurant and Lounge, for their support of PromoHomo.TV from the beginning. I was honored to work at the restaurant the first 4 years they were open, during which time I was inspired to write this. At 849 Restaurant and Lounge, sitting in the lounge area at a high top with a view of the Grand Corridor, the main dining area, is truly like starring in one play while simultaneously watching another, both with fabulous scenery and lighting, a gorgeous cast, fascinating characters, and exciting plot twists, complete with movie stars and paparazzi, not to mention fabulous eats. I call it reality dinner theater. See and be seen while starring in your own scene. Perhaps we'll have a scene together. Make your reservations at 849.com.
Hi, it's Brad Furr, a proud media sponsor of PromoHomo.TV, and I'm the owner of K-Gay Palm Springs and Gay Desert Guide. We just wanted to say thank you, and thanks to Nicholas Snow for what he does. K-Gay Radio is a worldwide streaming service of great dance hits that you can listen to anywhere, anytime. And when you're planning your visit to Greater Palm Springs, use gaydesertguide.lgbt.
Ask your smart speaker to play KGAY.
Hi, my name is Matt Scalarud, president of Pink Media, and a very proud and long-term supporter of PromoHomo.TV. And so at Pink Media, we've been working with companies large and small, including destinations such as this, to kind of help them target and reach the LGBT community online. And so we've been doing this for almost 30 years, And what's more important is that, it started out with banner ads and email campaigns, and now we've morphed into social media and video, and it's all about storytelling. So if you have a story and a message that you'd like to get out to a very targeted yet broad audience online, reaching the LGBT community, give us a call or reach us at www.pinkmedia.lgbt. Thanks.
The LGBTQ Community Center of the Desert is the only Coachella Valley organization dedicated to meeting the diverse needs of all LGBTQ+ individuals. From our Palm Springs McDonald Wright Building to the Center Coachella, the Scott Hines Behavioral Health Clinic, and the Community Food Bank, our mission comes to life by making meaningful connections to resources and to community that contribute to LGBTQ+ people's health and happiness. For more information, visit thecentercv.org.
So, Dr. Carol Ketchum, did you invent this phrase, lipstick lesbian? Did that come out of your life?
Hey, I'm kind of mixing it up tonight, right? I've got a suit jacket.
You represent everybody.
Oh, thanks, Nicholas. Love you so much.
I love you too. Now, you're philanthropic. You're on the board of DAP Health, but you're here supporting the L Fund. Why do you support the L Fund?
Oh my gosh, this is I could talk for hours on this, but it is the only organization of its kind that helps lesbians. I mean, I think in the whole world we've looked in earnest, and we can't find another organization like the L Fund. And then, to be able to hand a check to a woman who's struggling, and the stories are absolutely incredible. A lot of women lately who come from Los Angeles out here thinking they're going to find cheaper housing, a job, that it's not as competitive as LA, and it's actually, I think, just as bad, maybe even worse out here. And so to be able to help them get them on their feet, and we do. We hand them a check, they don't pay it back, and that check gets them on their feet. And one other thing I must just say, so often it's the case that women ask for less than what they need. Right? Like they're trying to get on their feet and they're asking for the rent that they owe from last month. And it's and every time I read those, I think that's so much like a woman to do that, to think that she's not worth asking what she really needs to get going. And so that's another amazing moment when we get to say to her, yes, we're helping you and we're giving you 3 times what you asked for, because you're not going to be able to make it on this, but on this you will be able to. And then they come back and talk to us and send us the most beautiful thank you letter. Nicholas, it is the most moving organization, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that this is something that has given me so much hope and joy in spite of what's happening in our country otherwise. It's just something to hold on to that's so positive and beautiful and loving. So for all those reasons.
Well, I just need to throw out for everybody that might be hitting the L Fund up for grants that the funds are not unlimited, and there is a qualification process. But if you are a cis or trans lesbian in need, it's worth reaching out to them. So you work in academia, and the L Fund is a nonprofit, apolitical organization. But you, as an individual, are engaged in what's going on politically, and we're recording this on March 1st. It's a very scary time in our country, and you're mentoring youth in your profession. How are people feeling, and what are you doing to take care of yourself and the people you serve?
Thank you for asking that very kind question. I mean, so I'm the department chair of Gender and Sexuality Studies, and we have a Queer Studies minor at California State University, Fullerton. And as you can imagine, we have this gorgeous and very fun student lounge. All the gay students on campus congregate in our student lounge, and I have the privilege of getting to know them, and all our trans students as well. And it's really our trans students right now that are being decimated by this rhetoric. I mean, they take it really personally. We're seeing some data come out of UCLA's Williams Institute that tells us that suicidal ideation among these young people is going up. It's been going up for a while now, since the run up to the election, actually. So it is a very hard time. It's a really scary time. Our department, my department specifically, is under attack by the Trump administration, as are all gender and sexuality studies departments across the country, for doing woke gender ideology, teaching woke gender ideology. And
By the way, woke means that you care about people. That's what woke
right.
means.
That's right. That's exactly what it means. So, what I'm doing to take care of myself, I'm here tonight connecting with all these gorgeous women that I love here in the Valley. We're so lucky to have each other out here, and that's what I continue to try to do to strengthen our communities out here, including the community around DAP Health, and. I think that's what we all need to do. That's what we need to hold on to, strengthening communities, and also going to protests. I've got my signs in my trunk, and I am going to protests if I'm in LA and they're happening in LA, I'm going to those. If I'm out here, I'm going to those. But that also feels good. It may not make a difference. I mean, who knows? But it makes a difference in terms of how I feel about the world that I'm living in. So those are my survival tactics now.
Well, words of wisdom, and you'll see Dr. Carol Ketchum's name in the credits because she's been a supporter of PromoHomo.TV for a long time.
I have. I tell Nicholas all the time. He's the one that I moved out here in the middle of the pandemic, and that show, your show, got me through it. I knew there was a community in Palm Springs waiting for me. I just couldn't connect to it when I moved out here because the pandemic had shut everything down. So I would watch them over and over again. That's how much I owe you, Nicholas.
Well, we're all in this together. Community is so important, and I love you. Have fun. Have fun. Shan, here we are again at another fabulous queer event.
I know. Actually, I've been to, I think, every L-Fun since the beginning.
You know, I don't know if I've been to all of them, but I've been to a lot of them. And, you know, one of the things I love about your current conversation in social media is what are people doing to nurture the young queers in our community. And of course, the L Fund is there for a lot of people who are in need, not necessarily young, but what inspires you to continue to be a champion? Is that a gender neutral word, champion? What inspires you to be a champion for the community when you've certainly paid your dues already?
I came out in the leather community, and when I started to post some stuff about were you mentored or how are you mentoring, I figured out that there were kind of three areas in the queer community where there's a lot of mentoring, and it is the drag community, right? Because they family up right away in the drag community, and then the leather community where I came out, and the arts. Right, I think a lot of elder gays wind up mentoring young gays in the arts fields, but they mentored the heck out of me, and I think they made me be dying to be an old dyke who finally could be bossy enough to be a mentor. And I mean, the leather community created so much accountability. I almost wanted to go home to my family where I could get away with stuff, you know. But it's wonderful. And again, I spent 40 years on tour by myself. So being a part of community, like there's a whole bunch of young ones behind me. And I've been having like young one pool parties and connecting them to each other and buy a couple extra tickets for some young ones who couldn't afford to come. And I don't know, I think it's important, especially now. I feel like our generation spent all our energy on surviving the HIV crisis. And we were not very good at passing the torch, frankly. And we've clung to it mercilessly. And whenever any young people come up, my cranky old friends are not very receptive. They don't know anything. They don't want to listen to me. So I'm out right now advocating for, you know, the elders to reach out and bring them in and listen as much as they need to talk. And it's rewarding. I love young people. They're so different and unbroken and cool and fun. And
now, getting back to the L Fund, you give a lot of time and energy, but you were a beneficiary of their emergency grant program. Tell me a little bit about how that experience went for you.
Well, after years of participating with them, COVID came. And every cruise I was booked on, every conference I was booked at was canceled.
Shan is a famous stand-up comic for those who may not know her.
So I wrote some things, smart on website on Facebook that said like, I'm gonna have to learn what Zoom is, and I'll host your meeting, or I'll host your orgy. I don't care what I'll host. And then Barbara Carpenter, the president of the L Fund at the time, said we would like to help you for a couple of months with some bills, so you can figure out how to transition into monetizing in a new way. And I said, no, I am a volunteer, not a recipient. And she said, well, then how the hell are you going to pay for everything? Anyway, I didn't know. And she said, well, you're going to take some help. And if not, I'm taking money out of my own bank account. I'm going to shove it under your door, and you don't want that. And so they did help me with an electric bill in the summer and a car repair and a couple things that would have been hard for me. And it gave me enough time to transition into making a living in COVID. And that's what the grants are about, is, helping you through a patch.
I have all of the lesbians in this shot. So please, for people that do not know you, please introduce yourself.
Kai, Charmaine, Leslie, Sharon Siegel.
And Sharon Siegel is one of the 6 founders of the L Fund. Unfortunately, Bobretta Franklin is no longer with us, but there's an award that's given in her honor. And what do you? We have a photo of. We have a photo of the 5 people. I'm going to hold this up. So those are all 6 founders of the L Fund. Okay. And this is Bobretta Franklin. And there is an award named after her. Well, that was so wonderful that you brought all of that to represent. So how do you feel all of these years later that the seed you planted has grown the way that it has?
It's such an honor to have helped others, hundreds and hundreds of lesbians in need, and that's why we got together in the first place. These are my friends from Long Beach, and Kai is a friend of theirs for a long time. I'm very excited to be here and be honored, but really the honor is mine to have been able to be helpful.
And how does it feel to be hanging out with a superstar like this tonight?
Oh well, we're really honored. It's like a legacy well lived.
We love that. So, what's next for you?
Well, I am very much involved with the Interfaith Council and Saving the Salton Sea and enjoying semi-retirement.
Well, plus I've been bumping into you at a protest or two.
Yes, we have marched together, yes.
Yes, and there's more to do. Anything else any of you want to add?
It's great to be here. Absolutely wonderful to be here to celebrate Sharon's legacy, starting this amazing event with, a few women with $20, and now we're looking at the fruits of that labor, which is amazing.
We're really proud of you, Sharon.
Well, I'm honored to know you.
And Charmaine and I go back to when she was 19, and now she's 60-something. So it's a long-time friendship.
Well, we love that, and I'm 60-something as well. Graduated high school in 1980. I'm 62, and I'm not through. Congratulations, and have a wonderful night, everybody. I don't know if you should have let me stand so close to this man, but I am very respectful. So we have Police Chief Andy Mills, his beautiful wife, Kathy, but I'm meeting the two of you for the first time.
Yeah, my name is Mike Torres, and my wife, Susan.
Well, it's very nice to meet both of you. You're both pretty in purple. So, have you been to the L Fund Gala before?
No, we're so excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to be here too, and I just want to thank both of you for all of your service to the community. And I know that as the spouses of police officers, you do the job as well. So I appreciate that.
They probably do more work than the rest of us. They do more work than all of us put together.
I'm sure. So I think this would be an appropriate time to just Chief Mills, have you talk about the special care that your force is taking on behalf of the safety of our community, in particular the LGBTQ community that is under increasing attack?
Well, this is a pleasure because this community is so dynamic and so strong. They're resilient, and that's why all the support we get, want to make sure that we're doing everything within our power to protect this community, to make it flourish, and to make this the safe haven for people all over the world to come to Palm Springs.
Well, I certainly appreciate you. And officer, where did you grow up?
I grew up in India, so I'm a local gem.
So
Sergeant.
Oh, Sergeant, excuse me. Okay.
Also the POA Vice President.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for everything.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So you grew up in this very diverse community, and how does it feel to stay here and be of service?
It's amazing. It's a pleasure, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm lucky to be here. This is a special community, and I'm happy to be part of it.
And did you two meet here in the Coachella Valley?
We met a little closer to Redlands. Okay.
And what is your favorite? By the way, what do you do in your life?
I stay at home with the children.
That is a tough job.
Tough job. Way harder than my job, I'll tell you that.
People say, how come you aren't a daddy? And I said, I can't be a daddy if I keep looking for one. Yeah, so.
I like that answer. That's a good one.
Well, you all look lovely. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
We love you, Nicholas Snow.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Don't go away. More coverage of Luck Be a Lady tonight is still coming up.
Like a diamond, you alone. You cut my heart like glass, just like that. Like a lion, uncontrolled. Your mark is on my back, just like that. In it for the big thrill. Yeah, you play games with my mind, always, all of the time. In it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind, always, all of the time, all the time. Collide with me, come high with me, and I'll go for you. Divine and free, go ride with me. Yeah, we'll go. Like the firing, lose control. We like to burn out fast. We're hot like that. Like a diamond, you alone. You cut my heart like glass, just like that. In it for the big thrill. Yeah, you play games with my mind, always, all of the time. In it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind, always, all of the time, all the time.
And next up, we have Martin Mitchell representing Brothers of the Desert, of which I am a member and an ally. brothersofthedesert.org. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm fantastic. So I know that the Brothers of the Desert are very philanthropic. They're engaged throughout the community. How long have you been involved with them?
I've been involved with them for about 3.5 years.
And why is it important for you to be here supporting the Elk Fund?
Because I think in this day and age, we have to support each other. The Elk Fund does a lot for the community, and in the current environment, I think it's going to be contingent on all our organizations locking arms and helping each other.
And when you say current environment, that's like an understatement. It's like what's going on in our world today is so tough. And I'm aware that as a white man, I have a different experience in life than people of color. And I I can't imagine the additional pain that your community must be going through with the current political climate.
Yes, I think that, people don't understand that we've been through this before, so I never thought that I would have to fight the same fights as my parents and grandparents and great grandparents. But here we are again, faced with fighting the same fights. But since we've been through it before, we're not afraid, so we're just going to fight the good fight. That's all we can do. And hopefully everyone will lock arms and come together and help each other out in this time of need.
Well, I certainly appreciate all the work you do. Speaking of which, every year they have, and the Brothers of the Desert have an annual health and wellness summit. If you see this in time, it's March 22nd this year. You can donate to attend. Go to brothersofthedesert.org. It's give as you are so inspired. I go every year, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it happens right here at the Riviera.
Yes, it happens right here at the Riviera. It's just like you said, March 22nd. And we have a whole weekend of programming. We have a soul food brunch on Sunday at the Mizell Center, as well as a theater act, as well as that afternoon at the Mizell Center. So we have a whole weekend of programming. So if you're open, come support us. Come to the Wellness Summit. There are a lot of speakers, a lot of sessions, and you will not be disappointed.
I'm never disappointed by Brothers of the Desert. And it's so nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too, thank you.
And I'm here with Nancy Worthington, who's a regular at this event every year. Nancy, you're also a renowned artist. You have your own gallery.
Yes.
But you put your time and energy and funds in support of the L Fund. How come?
Yes. It's a great cause. They do wonderful work, and I want to support them. They help women of all ages, all, whatevers, and I mean, they're really helpful to everybody. And I really like the group. Yeah. I've been a member for a long time, and it's a good group. Yeah.
And what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I have no idea.
We're going to find out together.
There you go. Yeah, we'll find out together.
Yes. Well, thank you for being here. Always nice to see you.
Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
I am here with Ruth Deborah and Kate Ullman, two of the 6 founders of the L Fund. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, 6 people got together once a month. They threw $20 into the middle of the table, and then they started doing good things with it. Here we are all these years later. So do you recall how you got invited to that first event, or were you the one sending out the invitation?
No, we all have a different version or memory of it, but it was we were having lunch, and the idea came up that we should do something for our community. That's my memory. Now you tell yours.
You called me and said, I don't remember that you said, let's go to lunch, or I have an idea, or this is something we have to do, or something. But Katie had heard about a group up in Northern California, up in Mendocino County, that was doing a similar thing, not exactly the same. And she said, well, our community doesn't have anything like this. So we decided that's what we wanted to do.
Well, how do you feel?
None of us had deep pockets where we were going to really be able to donate a lot, everything.
Well, and then Ruth, like all these years later, the L Fund has raised and given away tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds now at this point.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Tens, maybe hundreds.
And it's wonderful that this took off, and we can show solidarity with our community, and that we can be there for lesbians in need.
Right. It's very, very exciting to think that we started something on a very modest level, not anything like this. And our first events were the paper plates, Gumbo Gala at Four Seasons and Betty cooked. I missed that.
Right. And Ruth made brownies.
And I made brownies, yes. Kind of known for I like to bake.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you've created all this and that you've been around all this time and that you took time to talk to me. Is there anything else either one of you would like to add?
Just hope that the community keeps on supporting lesbians in need, because in today's political climate, nobody else is going to.
And I would also like to thank the board and all the women in all the past boards, all the volunteers, and all the people that make this possible, and especially the donors that have helped to make this possible. And may we continue.
Well, I'm honored to know both of you and to have known you for many years and to be one of those people telling the story of the L Fund. You know, you mentioned these political times. We're all in this together.
We are. We are. I remember you coming and interviewing us at the Cathedral City Library when we had a meeting one Saturday morning.
Yes, I do too. Yes, at one of our board.
Yes, and that was like my third or fourth interview, I think, of members of the L Fund. Well, have fun tonight. Soak up all the honors and the accolades, and I have deep respect for both of you.
Thank you, Nicholas.
You too, and what you contribute to this community is not small either.
Well, it's what I'm here for. Thank you so much. And last but not least, in terms of the founders of the L Fund, I have Barbara Carpenter and Betty Berry-Smith. It's so nice to see both of you.
So nice to see you and nice to be here.
It's always good to see you, Nicholas. Always.
Well, if I recall, I reached out to you at one point and said I wanted to profile you in my column for a Gay Desert Guide at the time.
That's right.
And that's how our love affair began.
And we're still loving on each other to this day. And that's true. You reached out and we did our thing, came on your show when you started your show, and here we are. Founders.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And I know that you were a force behind some of the original larger fundraisers with your Gumbo Gala. Wow. There were people tonight that said they missed those. But here we are all these years later. How are you feeling about the legacy that you, both of you and all the founders have?
It's very exciting. It's so exciting to remember back from sitting around a small table, putting $20 in and seeing how large it's grown. Words fail me. I'm just overwhelmed and very excited.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the legacy that we're leaving. I'm proud of the hard work that we put into it. I've been reminiscing a lot in the last few days, and just thinking about that first Gumbo Gala. We were pretty much in, the Palm Springs Pavilion, which is really a gym, but we turned it out, and Betty turned out her gumbo.
Right.
But I'm feeling so many things, very, very emotional and very, very proud.
Well, I can imagine. Now, you two have been involved in shining spotlights on a lot of other people. Are you comfortable when the spotlight turns to you?
I am. I deserve it. I have zero problems with it.
I love that. I personally feel uncomfortable when it happens to me.
And I'm working on it. I'm learning from my sister here. I'm working on getting comfortable and just smiling and just relaxing and being myself.
Well, Barbara is a stellar realtor in town, Barbara J. Carpenter, and one of the things that you inspire me with is that you started your own home-based business that integrates your talents as a chef with your deep African-American culture, not exclusively because you cook all kinds of food, but how do people find you?
Well, people can find me either on my website, Bee's Table, Cali Soul Cuisine, or they can also find me on Food Gnome, which is now Cook Connect. It was bought by a nonprofit, but kind of the same format where you can go on or see what I have posted and order meals.
And they are delicious.
What is your favorite dish of hers?
Gumbo.
Gumbo.
Well, she makes a roasted chicken that is Excellent. And it sounds simple, a roasted chicken, but until you've had Betty's, you haven't had one.
So earlier tonight, I've already interviewed Kate Ullman and Ruth Deborah and Sharon Siegel.
Great.
And Sharon brought with her photos of Bobretta.
Yes.
What would you like to say in memory and in honor of your late friend?
Well, the Community Service Award has been named after Barbretta Franklin. And the reason that she's a namesake of that is because she was all about community. In fact, she brought together communities that I don't know would have been together if not for Barbretta. She had been doing a lot of work for a long time, not only in this community but in Los Angeles. When she got here, she didn't stop. So she's in the room tonight. Her spirit is here, and I'm feeling her.
What would you like to add?
I'm just thankful for her insight and drawing and bringing a group of women together to help other women, other lesbians.
And is it pronounced Bobretta or Barbretta? Okay, I've been mispronouncing her name in my earlier interviews, but thank you for getting me straight, so to speak. And tonight,
we're not going to get you straight, Nicholas. Don't even try.
that's why I added, so to speak. But and Mariah Hansen's being honored tonight with that award.
I remember meeting Mariah on the set of KESQ or Channel 3, and we were both there. She was talking about the Dinah, and I was pumping the L Fund, of course, and we were both waiting for our turn. And of course, I turned around and asked her, would she donate Dinah tickets to the L Fund? And she absolutely said yes. So I have fond memories of her. She's done a lot of.
That's fantastic. You know, you have so many fans coming up to you during this interview.
Yes.
I think you're in demand. You are in demand, so I'm going to let you go. But is there anything else that you want to conclude with?
I just want to say thank you to our community. Thank you to the board now, all the volunteers that work hard to make sure that lesbians empower themselves. I'd just like to say thank you.
Yes, I'd also like to say thank you, and please let's continue this work. It's going to be even more important. I mean, it's always been important, but now we really need to be able to help each other.
Well, I authentically can say I love you both, and I'm grateful that we're here for each other.
And we appreciate you, because remember, you were the first one to say that I'm just going to call it what it is, to say that you were going to support the Alpha. You always have a place in my heart.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, group hug. So I'm here with some wonderful women in my life that I've known for years and newly. We have Atma Wiseman and her wife Joy Silver, and an historic lesbian icon, Ruthie Berman. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you, thank you. This is my first one.
Your first L Fund.
Yes. I'm talking about in my history, because I've been around in New York and in Florida, and this is the first that I've experienced.
So
this kind of event.
So give me, I know we're all fans of yours, but they might be hearing about you for the first time. Give me a couple sentences about your legacy that resulted in a film.
Well, what they have to do is see the film, Ruthie and Connie, Every Room of the House. It's somewhere on television, Netflix, something like that. And they can give me a call and I'll give them more information, because I'm not ashamed. I'm not holding back my life with Connie.
Well, basically, you and another woman were married to men with children, and you fell in love, and you decided to honor that love and be together, and that expression of your truth went on to change the world.
Well, because we needed to. When we came together, we didn't know a lesbian from a gay man, so we had to do something, and what was important was a health plan for Connie. And coincidentally, Lambda Legal called me, and we went ahead with it.
Ruth and Connie, every room in the house. It's on Internet Movie Database, and they'll tell you where you can screen it.
I want to tell them a secret. The secret is that you will see in the film the Donahue show, and I had a really big mouth there.
Okay,
That's what I decided
they're
to
gonna.
come out.
Okay, they're gonna stay tuned for that. So, Joy, you're one of my political powerhouse colleagues in the resistance. How are you? How are you feeling in the face of what we are all facing right now?
Well, what can I tell you? I'm a Jewish lesbian, and if I don't stand up, who the hell is going to? So we do it together, we hold hands, and we face our fears, and we march forward, and we will keep on going. Because you know what? It used to be worse than it is now. It might get bad, but we'll make it better together.
Resist. And what would you like to add to our conversation?
Well, what's really interesting is I just have been going through videos because I'm finishing school and I had to put together a portfolio of some things where I had been on tape. And the most recent one that I looked at was you and I together a long time ago
Academy Award party?
at the Academy Award party. So we are dedicated together on film for eternity. And here's another example where we are doing that. I just want to tell you that I decided after 47 years to go back to school, and tomorrow is my last day, and I will be graduating on the 4th of May as a 70-year-old, and I am likely going to be speaking at graduation.
Yes.
I'm like getting goosebumps. Are you? How are you feeling about this accomplished woman you're married to?
I met her when she was going to school. She did not continue forward, and it's where I came in, and now I get to be with her when she finishes what we both started. Our relationship together moved on, and now she's finished school, so we're doing good.
Well, I just want to end with the two of you who are familiar with the L Fund to say a little bit about why you support it.
Well, I think that what's really important is the fact that within our own, with our own in-groups, it's critically important to notice that not everybody is of the same socioeconomic bracket. And we have an obligation to bring those along and support them that can't afford certain things. So we have an obligation, if we can, to support those that are part of us in a way that eases their burden.
Very good.
Yes, we must stand together and support each other, especially economically in these times, because we who have something must be sure that we share it and make each other stronger so that we're all together.
So, one of my chants has taken off at a couple of rallies. Act up, fight back, fight the orange monster. That's mine.
We love that, and we love you, Nicholas Snow.
Not a momster.
We love you.
He's a mamza.
A mamza?
Yes. Go find out what that is in
Yiddish word.
Okay, well, I'm going to do my homework. Thank you all for being here. Love you madly. See you soon. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Don't go away. More coverage of Luck Be a Lady tonight is still coming up. So one of my broadcasts just wouldn't be complete if I didn't somehow work in my friends and colleagues from KGay 106.5, and I never remember your other call letters.
And 92.1.
92.1. So we have John Taylor, who's host of the morning show. We have one of their marketing gurus, Matthew Hocutt, and Brad Furr, who owns the whole shebang. Nice to see all of you.
Nice to see you too, and we are men in a sea of women tonight.
Yes, exactly, but I'm an honorary lesbian. Are you?
I am. I possibly.
Do you know why I'm an honorary lesbian?
Why?
Because I haven't been having sex with men either.
Ah, well, you know, I am, because I wasn't the first person to come out in my family. My dad's sister, Aunt Kay, came out, and so when I came out, it was like, oh, you too? And Aunt Kay and her partner, Uncle Peggy, took me to so many parties where I was the only man. So I do feel like an honorary lesbian, and we love our lesbian community, and they show up for us, and they have for so many generations. So for us to show up for the L Fund is, it's a natural thing.
I couldn't agree more. And Matthew, what I love about your story is I first became aware of you when you were a big honoree at the Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast, 10 or 12 years ago.
Exactly, yeah, and I got to end up going back 10 years later at this prior Harvey Milk Breakfast, and I got to perform, which was even great. So
I was at both of them.
Yeah.
That makes me old.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, no, and being able to now work with KGay and be more part of the community, which I'm deep diving into, which is so much fun and exhilarating, and especially being able to learn more about other organizations like the L Fund. I'm happy to be here.
And in the GSAs that you've been involved with and your other pursuits, what have lesbians meant for you in your life?
Well, a lot of the women in my life, some were lesbians, some were not, but they tend to be more of my mentors. And so giving back to this community, whether they're gay, straight, allied, whatnot, means a lot to me. And so a lot of the women in my life were actually my heroes and my mentors. So.
What about you, Brad? What have lesbians meant to you in your life?
Well, it's interesting. I think I've gotten the most exposure to them here in Palm Springs. And over the course of my life, I did not have a lot of lesbian family members or role models. People just weren't out, right? We had a similar case of two women who were, the aunts of my neighbors, and I never really questioned it. But when I look back, I'm like, oh yes, those two were a lesbian couple working at a manufacturing plant in a small town in Michigan. But for me, the lesbian community here has been amazing in its growth over the years and organizational skills. So I remember L Fund when it was literally a phone tree which said, hey, we have somebody who needs gas for their car or a car repair, or they need to get to whatever, a doctor's appointment. How do we help them? And it really started out that grassroots. And now to see this, a large-scale gala for L Fund, so it can fund so many other programs, is just amazing to me, and it's great.
Well, let me remind you of a connection that you have to the L Fund that you may not recall. When I was writing a weekly column for Gay Desert Guide, one of the people I featured was Barbara J. Carpenter, one of the founders, and that was the first significant attention that they had received from the gay male community, which wouldn't have happened without the two of us.
That's true, and Barbara was very much a standout for the organization. I think she helped really put it on the map. And I would, she was a real estate agent. She was still is, and used to being out there. And she knew how to fundraise. She knew how to organize, and really put a lot of effort into making sure that L Fund sustained and grew as it did.
Well, and I know the morning show on KGay, you can tell I've done interviews before, right?
Yes.
The morning show on KGay is an equal opportunity platform, and you're always showcasing not only the members of our community, but allies as well. And I love being able to tune in and hearing about women and their causes that I wouldn't ordinarily hear about.
Well, Brad mentioned how responsive L Fund was at its outset to respond to immediate needs, like somebody needs a washing machine because it broke down, or somebody needs groceries. they're still that responsive and quick about getting help to people. And that's the thing that I love is it's not a bunch of red tape. It's not a bunch of hierarchy. And, you're not paying for a lot of, institutional administration. You're paying into immediate help for people. And I think women should run everything. I really do. All that crap that happened in the Oval Office, that never would have happened. Testosterone is the bane of our existence, and we need more estrogen. And so we salute our women friends and allies and the L Fund and lesbians especially.
And I'm a little bit confused because I can't remember if I've ever seen you in a suit before. I want to say you clean up rather well.
Well, thank you.
And, I'm always running around in my branded T-shirts as well. Is there anything else any of you want to add?
Well, I want to recognize Robin Burr, who's now on the L Fund board, helped organize this year. We're running public service announcements for L Fund with her voice, and acknowledge that she and I first started working together back in the early 2000s when I was in Chicago. She worked for American Airlines for their LGBTQ initiatives back then. And now she has, like so many others of us, made our way to Palm Springs.
If you come out of the closet, you ultimately live here. What would you like to add?
I'm just happy to be here and being able to learn about the L Fund and the women who run it and help other women.
Well, thank you all for being here. Now, on the count of three, we're going to say, you're watching PromoHomo.TV.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
You're watching PromoHomo.TV.
You guys must work in media or something.
We were cheerleaders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is the first time I can introduce him with this title, Mayor of Palm Springs, Ron DeHart.
Good to see you.
Hey, and your niece, who I've met before, I don't remember where, but tell me your name.
Katrina?
Katrina. Well, it's great to see both of you. So Ron is also the president of Palm Springs Pride, and he is a member of the Palm Springs City Council, and of course they rotate the mayorship, and you are now rotated in, and you're the first Latino gay mayor of Palm Springs.
It took 87 years to get there, but we made it.
Well, and not only are you the first gay, not the first gay mayor, but are you the first Latino mayor?
Latino, yes.
Yes, Latino. We've had Latina.
Yeah, first Latino and 27th mayor of the city of Palm Springs.
Well, congratulations. I'm happy to have voted for you, and I appreciate all of your community service. So how about the L Fund?
Yeah, it's a great organization for Palm Springs and the regional area. They do such great work, and each year it seems like they keep getting better and better and better, and they're able to help even more women within our region.
Well, that's beautiful. And one of the things I want to touch upon is how our community is hurting because of the political environment we're in now. How there's an increased attack on who we are, and kind of what you think the response needs to be.
I think first and foremost, we need to come together as a community and support one another. That's going to be more important than ever in the next 4 years coming ahead, is we've got to stay together as a community, and we have to look out for one another. And then we have to be smart at what we do. I know it feels good to go to massive rallies and feel great doing that, but we need to take that energy and start calling the politicians' offices that don't have the same views that we do, and call those that are supportive of our community and support the views that we have, and say thank you. But we have to do that every day. We have to keep it constant. We can't let up, and it's going to be a long ride ahead. We've got 4 years, but we need to be very vocal. We've got to stay strong. We've got to be smart about what we're doing. We've got to stand firm, and we have to take care of one another.
We certainly do. Now, you're a fairly new as a resident here, right?
Yes, I just moved here in October.
And how does it feel to have your gay uncle the mayor?
It's really cool because both of my uncles have always taught me to be authentically myself, and it's just really cool to see him being authentically himself and having a lot of support behind him. I think he's super awesome, so it's cool to see people feel the same way.
And what would you like to say about Palm Springs?
I love Palm Springs. It's one of the most fun places I've ever lived, and everyone is just themselves every day, and I think it's something to look at. It's very inspirational.
What would you like to say to young people out there?
Hi, and always be yourself because you're awesome.
I like that. I think we should end with that. I love it. I love it. Very good. Thank you. You're welcome. Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Have a good one. You've been watching exclusive coverage of the L Fund's annual gala, Luck Be a Lady, here at the Riviera Hotel in Palm Springs, California, right here on PromoHomo.TV. And I'm, of course, your host, Nicholas Snow. For more information about this very worthy organization, go to l-fund.org. That's l-fund.org. And I really appreciate your support. If you would like to help me continue to make this show happen, there are two ways to do it. One is to go to my Patreon page. The other is to become a paid member at one of the membership tiers on my YouTube channel. And the links to both of those opportunities are in the text associated with this video. Until next time, I'm Nicholas Snow, here at the L Fund's annual gala.
In a safe place, I got room to breathe. Been a long chase, but at last I'm free. These open woods, I knew I could find peace here. Nothing like the city where I got tired of the running, the catching up. I got hungry for the stunning high mountain tops. So I made some plans, some dreams to catch, to promised lands, to find my path, see the planet from greater heights. I have found a place out of time and space, far from city lights, up on greater heights. See the blue sky, feel the wind that blows. Get the rush in, heaven on